Okay, I can't believe I have to keep doing this, but I want to put it off, but at the same time, when something like this happens, it kind of verifies what I've been saying all along, and the reason why, I feel like I need to pull back, and I actually have tried to. But anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Roy Potter. Yes, if you were listening to Sean Hannity last night, it's pretty disgusting what's going on. Of course, we found out that Priestep, Strzok, Page, and I forget the FBI attorney's name, all exonerated Comey, saying that he didn't leak classified information when in fact he did. And then the OIG came out and said, well, yeah, he violated these policies, but he didn't say in this report that he should be indicted. At any rate, I was listening to DiGenova last night on Sean Hannity, and he said something that really kind of troubled me, but I've anticipated all along. If I understood him right, what he said is that the OIG report coming out saying that Comey's only going to be held responsible for violating FBI internal procedure and policy, etc., is an indication, and he called it more than an indication. He said that this means that they've already made a determination on the FISA abuse, and they're not going to indict Comey on that. And that's why they waited until now. So if that's true, then this shows that Barr is not going to fix anything. I would now anticipate that McCabe is going to be let off as well. Might be wrong about that, but when DiGenova said that, you could see the disgust in DiGenova's eyes. I wonder if he's talked to Barr and voiced his dissatisfaction about this. And that's if I understood it right. You can go back and look at it. Sean Hannity last night, DiGenova, Jarrett, Tonsing, and I'm not sure who the other person is that they had on, but DiGenova definitely said that they held off on releasing this OIG and all of that because, in fact, they're not going to indict Comey on the FISA abuse. Ladies and gentlemen, our intelligence community, starting with the FBI and the CIA on down, is totally corrupt. And I'm going to include the DOJ on that. Trump has brought the wrong guy in there, it looks like, at this point. I think that DiGenova is very, very upset about what he's seeing. Like I've said, we're on our own. It is a two-tiered justice system, and these people are all violating not just policies but laws, and they get a free ride. Really, really bad. And yet they go after the rest of us and throw the book at us. They'll grab a mentally ill person off the street, the FBI will, and cultivate them to become a terrorist so they can bust them. And then they don't catch the real terrorists, probably because they're, cultivated too. You heard me yesterday. They're still trying to take out Trump. The Federal Reserve says they need to take out Trump. They're going to take out the Queen for siding with her people on Brexit. The ICs in both countries, the entire intelligence community is corrupt, and it's going to take the military. I'm not saying martial law, but it's going to take the military if Trump can gather enough loyal people to the Constitution, and that's what I've called for a long time. It's going to take the military to go in and clean out the DOJ, the FBI, and the CIA. That's just the way it is, and there's no turning around to that now. It's just like when Eisenhower was trying to find out what was going on at Area 51, and we've talked about this before, and he ends up sending the I think it was the First Army at that point. He threatened to send the First Army in there if they didn't come clean. And, of course, the civil rights violations in the South, where he used the military there. And that still wasn't martial law. It's short of martial law. It's going after rogue criminal federal agencies that are under the president's control anyway. And he needs to do this. He's got Article 2, Section 2, President Trump. The vets are out here waiting for you. And that's why the IC hates us. That's why Ray hates us. That's why DHS under Napolitano hates us, because they know, and they know they're criminals. Come on, President Trump. I don't know what to say. On top of that, Brennan came out, and of course he was protecting Comey. He was extolling him and saying how great he is. And then what did he do yesterday? Did you see this? He threatened President Trump, and he says that the GOP and the Republicans have to abandon him and that he's going to find himself in a world of hurt. Well, I don't think he means just without support for the election. I think he's talking under his breath about something more sinister. And I don't trust Gina Haspel. I don't know why Trump put Gina Haspel in there in the CIA. The entire thing, the entire IC needs to be raided by the Department of Defense under Trump's immediate command. That's what needs to happen. Anything less than that is not going to fix this. So that's all I really wanted to say this morning. Like I said, I really do want to get out of this, but when I see when what I've talked about for years happens, I figure I have to come on and say this is not looking good. This is not looking good. The military is our only hope now. It's our only hope. Yesterday I gave you some really what I thought was some uplifting information. And what did I say? I've said this several times. Not 24 hours later, and I'm having to say, uh-oh, here we go. Now, who do I blame for this? Not entirely Trump, but Trump puts these people in power. He put Gina Haspel in the CIA. He put Barr, who had a lot of questionable things in his background, in the DOJ. And apparently, with DiGenova, he even thought Barr would go ahead right. But now he's saying, no, this is a very strong indication that Barr is likely not going to indict Comey on his FISA abuses, the lies to the FISA court, the crimes that he committed, and his part in the coup d'etat, the attempted coup d'etat against the President of the United States and against the Constitutional Republic. And like I say, I think McCabe's going to get out of this as well. I don't know. I mean, even if they get McCabe, that's not going to be enough. That's not enough. That is not enough. So things aren't looking good, ladies and gentlemen. It's like I said, we're on our own. President Trump has got to take this bull by the horns. He is the commander-in-chief of the military. We have an insurrection, we have a coup d'etat, we have sedition taking place, not by the citizens of the country. I mean, there are some, Antifa and those, the leftist Marxists in some of the colleges and stuff, but I'm talking about in the government itself. And it's time for President Trump to activate the Department of Defense, bring in the vets that he can trust, and he can find people that'll do this work for him, and plan on going in and raiding the FBI, the DOJ, and the CIA at a minimum, and the State Department, I don't think he can trust Pompeo to do the job either. Pompeo hasn't cleaned out the State Department one iota. Finally, and I'll just bring this up and then I'll let you go. Remember when McDonald or whatever his name is on MSNBC the other day said that he had information that Trump was taking payoffs from Deutsche Bank from the Russians, directly from Putin. Do you remember that coming out? And then it was poo-pooed almost immediately, shown to be debunked. I was listening to Dan Bongino yesterday, and he said he was pretty sure that this was a test by the White House to find out who one of the leakers were, or all of them. And Trump just fired his personal assistant this morning. So she was apparently given this information, and she leaked it to the MSNBC McDonald. I'm guessing that's what's happened. And they knew it was her. So she's been fired this morning. There is subversion in our government. We cannot continue to operate as we have in the past. Trump must declare a national emergency under the Insurrection Act. And he must bring in trusted people, and I could name a lot of them right now, and I proudly include myself in that. He needs to go in and do this. This is a war, and there's no turning around. I don't know how he'd do it otherwise. What, he's going to convince everybody to re-elect him? He's got the Federal Reserve against him now. They're talking about taking him out from the re-election in one way or the other, which also could include assassination. He's got all these people in the government that are fighting against him. This is a war between good and evil. It's not just ideologies. We're in trouble. And I hate to backtrack after a hopeful broadcast yesterday, but this just proves my point. And if in fact this next OIG report coming out says no, we're not going to and Barr decides not to go after Comey for criminal conduct, seditious conduct. Wow. But DiGenova's kind of anticipating that. Okay, I'd love to take your questions, but I just wanted to get that up this morning real quick. Some more. Again, you think I'm advertising for Alex Jones. It's really not that. It's just he didn't get into the information that I was hoping he would yesterday. I understand he's going to do it today. I don't know, but I'm going to let you go so you can go, check all this out for yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, get yourselves ready. If Trump doesn't act and take this as an actual war in his government, if he doesn't take action, we're sunk. If he does take action, we're going to see some tough times as well. You better be prepared to make it through several months without any help from the institutions, from the markets, from stores, from your police, anybody, because that's just what'll happen. Okay, I got to go. I hope you don't mind me doing these real quick uploads like this. I know they're not as formal as normal, but FISA was our last hope, not is, Val, was, and DiGenova, as I said, is saying that the indication, the way this came down this week, is that they've already made the decision not to prosecute Comey on the FISA violations and criminal conduct. And if that's true, Trump needs to go to war with his government. End of story. That's the way it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great Labor Day weekend. It's troubling that this stuff is breaking right now. Keep your eyes and ears open. Keep your eyes and ears open. Things could turn on a dime, okay? All right. Thanks for coming by. Like I said, I'd love to take your questions and stuff, but we all have things to do to get ready for the weekend, okay? All right. I'll go out like I do with, I kind of like going out with the music, so here we are. Thanks for coming, everyone. Get this information out. I don't mean just mine, but what's happened. Get people to get ready for the inevitable. And I'm going to say it one more time. Trump has to go to war with his government. There's no more negotiation. There's no more, playing tiddlywinks. There's no more efforts to try to appease anybody or to try to prevent what's obviously necessary. He must invoke the Insurrection Act across the board. He's got enemies, traitors, seditionists throughout the government. I mean, it's not even like it's a state that's trying to secede. It's in the government. It's in his own cabinet. It's in the Congress, the Senate, the executive agencies. And I know it's in the DOD as well, and he's going to have to circumvent the general officers that are in those spots now. As I've often said, they wouldn't be there where they were if they were able to get through the purges of Obama. Then they're not our friends. They're not friends of the Constitution of the United States. Not unless they've proven otherwise. Obama just missed them. That's where we are. Okay, I'll talk to you all later. Have a great weekend.